Hi. Can you state your name and relationship to bowling, please, for the camera?
My name is Tavis Brunson, and I'm on the bowling team for Westfield.
Okay. At what age did you start bowling, and how has it affected your life since?
Well, I started bowling when I was 14. I was 14. I was in the freshman, and that was the first year. I didn't really know how to bowl that well. When I first came in, I started bowling like a 90. That was using my high score, and then was more progression. Got better.
And how has it affected your life?
Well, I don't know. Usually now I do more competitive things and offers more scholarships. So now it kind of has a better chance of me going to, or helping financially with college, I should say.
Okay. Are you a part of some kind of bowling team, and how has that changed your life?
Alright, well, as I stated, I'm on the Westfield bowling team. I also bowl with a tournament team. Usually I practice every Saturday with them, but not anymore. That was during the winter. Usually practice a lot with them. And I didn't get to participate in any tournaments, though, because I had baseball and other things going on at the time. But those are the main two things I participated in.
Okay. How competitive are you when you bowl, and where do you consider bowling among sports in competitiveness?
Well, I'm pretty competitive. Well, not really competitive. I just really like to play it. More or less, I'm not really looking for competition. But if I get competition, that's nice. But I'm not really looking to be like a pro bowler. I like baseball more, so that's it.
And where do you consider bowling among other sports in competitiveness?
I would say it is very competitive. Bowling is very competitive. When you play on Westfield, the high school team, you experience a lot of competitiveness amongst teams and players on both levels, JV and varsity. So pretty much it's really competitive. Baseball, like all the other sports, baseball, basketball, football, they're all competitive. But you're just going to see a lot of competitiveness during bowling because it's inconsistent. Sometimes people have good scores, other people have to pick them up. It's a long process, but it's really competitive. If you were to watch a bowling match, you would see how competitive it can get.
Okay. Do you consider bowling an easy sport to learn, and what would you say to people who are learning the basics of bowling?
Well, bowling, it is a not easy sport. It really isn't, because it took me about two years, or maybe 3, I think 2 years, to really get good at the sport. Because I used to be throwing the ball in the gutter all the time. I mean, it was bad. But then when I just practiced for like 3 years or 2 years, I just started doing better and better. And now, senior year I'm going into, now I'm going to be a captain. So that's good. And I can't wait for that. And for the newcomers that are coming, you got to just practice. There's nothing. You can't get frustrated. It's gonna get frustrated at times, but you just gotta keep practicing. Only way you're gonna get better.
Okay. Do you have family members that go bowling regularly? And would you say bowling is more enjoyable when going with multiple people?
I did. My nana, she used to go. She used to do leagues. I don't know how often. I wasn't really, I think, old enough to know how often she did it. But she used to do it. Other families, no, they don't. Going with friends is really fun. But if you want to kind of bowl serious to practice, it's kind of not a good idea to bowl with a lot of friends because then they'll start goofing off and you won't get much accomplished. But other than that, usually like family members, friends, anything, usually like that, a massive group, that would be fun. But if you're going to practice, no.
Okay. Do you watch professional bowling, and how much information do you know about the sport on a pro level?
Not really. I do sometimes. Usually I just like to watch the styles, the techniques they have, because some people, they bring it above their head. There's just so many techniques. And I don't really know that much, but I'm still learning. Usually the more I just go bowling, I usually find out a lot more about it.
Okay. Have you ever bowled a perfect game?
No, not yet. The closest I came was a 255, That is 7 strikes in a row from the beginning. Or no, I got 8 strikes in a row, and then I think I got a 9 spare, and then I got a strike and another open. So then that brought my score down a little more.
Can you please explain how hard it is to get a perfect game?
Oh God, it's like trying to say hit I don't even know, like, how can I explain it? It's really hard. That's all I can say, but it's not easy because the oil pattern that's on the lanes, oil breaks down, the ball moves too much. There's so many possibilities that can make it go wrong. And usually just got to be consistent. Sometimes you might miss your mark, something like that. And anything could just, any little small mistake you make can possibly ruin the chance of getting a perfect game. But getting 13 strikes in a row, or 12 strikes in a row, man, it's hard to explain.
Okay. Do you bowl with one hand or two hands?
I bowl with one hand. Usually I like it. But as you kind of see more bowlers, you see a whole bunch of different styles. There's a lot more things you could do with one hand. You could, I would say, kind of have more control and more accuracy. But two-hand bowling, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't prefer it. But if it works for you, just do it. It all depends on the person. It all depends on the player, I should say.
And what technique would you recommend to a newcomer trying to learn how to bowl?
For a newcomer, I would use one hand, and then maybe if they start like feeling that they want to go two-hand or try something new, I would say you can try it. But I would recommend one hand just because I'm one-handed and I know how to throw the ball better one-handed. But if they want to, they can throw two-handed. But I highly recommend just one hand.
Okay. What weight ball do you use, and what weight ball should newcomers use?
I use a 15-pound ball and a 14-pound ball. For newcomers, I would say use a ball that's a little heavier for you because the lighter the ball, the less pin reaction, and you want as much pin reaction as you can when you're bowling. So usually, like, the heavier the ball, the more pin reaction. But for newcomer, like, if it's, don't go like 14 and you're only like 10 and you can only hold like a 8-pound, don't do that because that's not good. It's not good for the wrist and the arm, and you're just trying to lift something too heavy, and it won't really work because then you're going to be throwing the ball slow and not enough pin, and it's not going to be as good pin reaction. Those are just stick with the size that's comfortable with you, but just try to go a little heavier.
And our final question. What do you believe is an acceptable bowling score after 3 weeks of training, and do you believe it is possible?
I think usually a good 100 is a good solid score because I'm not going to lie, I barely hit 100, and this was like a month or two of training. I barely can hit 100, and just the more I try, it got better and better and better. So it's going to take practice. It can't take 3 weeks to learn how to be a perfect bowler, but just a better one.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.